Yeah, but that's cooking oil.
They're mental. They're just holding the country to ransom.
Climate activists head for an oil terminal, the aim to break in and disrupt operations. Eventually, some glue themselves to the wall and are arrested. Several activists have blocked a road nearby.
If I was in my car, stuck in traffic for this, I'd be cross too.
Just Stop Oil has been doing this around the country for weeks now. Some local fuel shortages have been reported, but it's the inconvenience that's too much.
What are they achieving?
Well, what they're saying is they want maximum disruption to stop the government extracting oil and gas.
Yeah, but that's cooking oil.
They're mental. They're just holding the country to ransom.
Oh, hey, we're back one more time with All Over the Place with Corey and Sean. Good to have you back. If you lasted that whole episode last time, congratulations.
If you didn't, what's wrong with you? That was a good episode.
I agree. That was a damn good episode, and our production value for that episode was...
we spent all of it on that episode.
It was fantastic, so don't expect that again for a while.
This episode, you might get lucky to get a picture.
Like, yeah, if we can sneak a few pictures in there, we'll be good on this one.
Still shots.
Yeah, still no video, no video.
I didn't double check that the audio was in there, so I'm hoping it's working.
Well, let's hope so.
Gifts are too expensive.
Cross our fingers.
Otherwise, this will be a really weird episode.
Yeah. Cross our fingers.
We're doing this one for our deaf friends, but there's no captions either. It's just us talking.
Well, then let's just start doing this. And let them figure out what the fuck we said.
Lip smacking ASMR.
Carrots? I don't know.
No, the fucking lip readers. Let's see what they can come up with that.
Sure.
You know,
YouTube's catching people. Yeah.
Yes.
I got you.
Oh well, what do we want to talk about today?
Fuck if I know.
You know, I got it. The environmentalists are a big thing right now, and I don't like them. I hate the environment. I'm very much an anti-environmentalist. I think that the whole environmentalist movement is bullshit. So let's talk about that because our research department keeps bringing these fucking hilarious videos to my mind, which you won't see.
I'll try to throw one in later. I didn't have any to put in.
Yeah.
For in the moment.
Apparently, these dumb fucks, their newest thing, they're not blocking intersections, holding hands or some shit like that. Well, they're gluing themselves to the fucking road, which...
Are these the same idiots that used to glue themselves to painting and throw
They're
soup
still
on
doing
them
that. They're gluing themselves to paintings. They're gluing themselves to fossils, the roads. And the thing is, the reason it's so funny is not just that they're gluing themselves. It's the kind of glue. They're like mixing epoxies and super glue to the point where literally their hands are like
fused.
Fused. And the police, for me, that's why I could never be a police officer, because if I saw that, I would just rip their hand up.
Yeah.
Like if their skin came off.
Where they did that. It wasn't the police though. It was.
Yeah, but those guys didn't. They didn't have. All they did was just super glue. Like I'm talking, some of these people use epoxies. Like you'd have to cut their hand off to get it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm fine with that. But,
it doesn't need to be cops. It could be a trucker having a fucking bad day.
Oh, there's been lots of those videos. There was. I saw one video where two truckers, one gets out and grabs all their signs, throws them off to the side, and then they grab somebody and throw them off the road. Well, then that person scoots up underneath their truck, but they keep their hand up so the trucker can still see. And the trucker pretended not to see, and he just kept on going. And
so they're doing this to like highways and stuff.
I've
seen them doing it on racetracks, but
predominantly it seems that it's mostly
not interstate highways.
Yeah, it's mostly happening in like Germany, the UK.
Have they never heard of texting and driving?
Apparently not.
I'll rarely go anywhere near the street on foot.
Fuck.
There was also
just a driver's ed student with ADD, and you're going to have a fucking
I'm going to fuse
incident.
myself to the concrete and cross my fingers.
Bro, there's a car that's going to fuse you to the concrete.
Well, there was also
cross my fingers that somebody's actually paying enough attention to stop.
Ooh.
There was also one
Stop
crew,
unglued! Stop unglued!
but there was also one group that tried gluing themselves down in the middle of a Formula One racetrack.
Sean knows about this
I think
one
that's
too,
the one I
doesn't
saw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it was in the worst spot. It was in a big, long, straight stretch, but it had just this little curve. So even if the racers, even if they had seen them, because 200 miles an hour,
They don't have time to stop.
there'd be no
Wait,
chance.
here's the fun part that you missed in that description of it is the fact that it was in like a pretty much straight stretch, but they were on the other side where the cars came over a hill.
That's what I'm saying. They had no.
They were on the other side, not
That's good
like
thinking.
down the hill, but like right as you came over.
That's what I'm saying. They had like those cars, even if they were looking, and they wouldn't be, because all their, at 200 miles an hour, you're not really paying attention to the fucking foliage around you, And even if they wanted to, there's no way they could have stopped in time.
And to be fair, those drivers, I'm guaranteeing you, when they're maneuvering past these other drivers, they're not thinking, well, I wonder if anybody will be walking across the street in front of my car.
No,
Yeah,
because it's a closed racetrack.
It's probably not really.
Well, that's
on their
fine
mind.
because they weren't walking; they were glued.
But
Well, well, that's it. There's not going to be any human presence in my driving area when I round this turn and top this hill. There's no possible. What the fuck is that?
see, but that just shows the overall intelligence of these people.
or lack thereof.
Well, but
Yeah.
wasn't there another little detail that y'all were discussing that it's like
That
they were
particular race.
What were they protesting?
They're protesting oil.
And what
use.
was the little snag in their protest?
Oh yeah, so this race that they did that on, this was a
All
electric formula race where all of the Formula One cars were run with electric motors. So there was actually you shouldn't be on the track protesting. You should have bought tickets and gone to the race.
Like this is
and been in
this is
stands
backing what you're
cheering.
wanting.
Yes. But my whole problem with the entire thing is like the complete absolute hypocrites all of these people are, because you see them in their orange vests, made with polyester plastic. Then you see their shoes with plastic soles, their phones that they're recording with, plastic components. Like their entire life is ruled by plastic. But they're trying to say, without giving any solution as to, okay, well, if we don't want to use plastic, give us a solution. Well, they don't have a solution. It's just we just want to protest and say,
No,
that,
fuck you.
we just
Yeah.
don't want people to enjoy things.
Yes.
Funny thought. What if the logical thing of you're not going to use plastics, it's like you're going to have to start going back to organic stuff, which I mean, if you want to is fine, but usually for most stuff, that's going to be meaning that we're going to have to start farming a bunch more leather, killing a bunch more
That's
animals.
animal pelts.
What if we pit them against the vegans?
Like, oh, we didn't think about that.
You're like, plastic is why you don't need to have all of these animals killed just to clothe people. Which, of course, I guess you could say, cotton, but who wants to wear cotton? It's too warm.
Yeah, it's too hot.
I very much enjoy wearing
like
cotton. It's gotten a lot more expensive in the last 150 years, hasn't it?
But they're
Sean?
not going to make the soles of
Yeah,
your
it has.
shoes out of it.
Labor
Yeah.
costs have gone up.
A little bit.
Damn it.
That damn 13th Amendment. What are you going to do? But anyway, no, the police in different places have different reactions. Like the Netherlands, they are dealing with these people the way they should. They're coming out with fire trucks and hitting them with water and mace.
And they can't go anywhere because their hands are right there. And they can't
Yes.
cover their face.
One video in particular had just that. It had them blasting these people with fire hoses, and the guy literally couldn't move because his hands were glued to the road.
I hope that the police and the firemen were just feigning ignorance with those people, being like, "Oh no, what do you mean he's glued down? He's just holding on real good. We got to blast him some more, get him to move."
We need to turn the
I didn't know he
pressure
was
up on this
glued.
hose because he's not moving.
Look here, turn it up.
It's not enough of a deterrent. But
He
then,
hasn't learned anything yet.
but then you have the pansy little UK cops that are basically just letting the people do what they do. Block traffic, block emergency.
They drive on the wrong
vehicles.
side of the road. They might as well block that
That's
traffic.
true.
Yeah.
Everything is backwards over there. UK sucks.
Yes, they do.
But anyway,
Just like the environment,
yes,
The
because
UK environment more so.
more so than the rest of it.
because like I believe the client might or the
clients.
the climate.
You're still playing devil's advocate from last episode.
Yeah,
My client, is,
you already lost that
my
case,
client
Junior.
was being set up. It's a setup.
By the plastic companies.
Yeah,
plastic companies
we're
wanted-
past that.
Wanted him and his hands-free belt satchel locked up.
Yeah, we're past the case. GZ versus the state of West Virginia. Now we're planet Earth against the human race.
You know what?
But-
Planet Earth against
You know
Blue.
what I love, though, especially about the ones in Germany, is they'll go out there, they'll protest, we got to get plastic, we got to get oil. Meanwhile, they shut down several of their nuclear power plants only to be like, oh, guess we need more energy, better rev up those coal plants.
Yep.
They sure did.
Pump tons. Like,
Yeah, that's good thinking.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that they're out here blocking traffic and they don't see any irony in what they're doing because all of these cars that are stuck in traffic,
Are
guess what they have to
idling.
do? They have to idle, which means they burn
Waste
gas.
more gas.
They burn gas. And guess what that does? That increases the demand for oil, stupid.
I'm glad we live in a state where that kind of shit is it's so frowned upon that nobody really tries it because I don't see anybody blocking any of our fucking roads because
They know we won't stop.
That's because you can just walk over and just grab them, and it's just you've made a new pothole. Because it's how it's road quality.
Yeah.
They're road
We're
fill
just
at
so
this
used
point.
to hitting the tweakers and the methadone
Yeah.
zombies that we just let them go.
That's it. Well, just think they're holding hands in front of fucking this big redneck with his goddamn truck with the big wheels,
He
and they're
just
standing
straddle
there.
them and keep going.
They're standing there in fucking full unity, and he just drives right the fuck over him.
He's too busy looking for that kid on the side of the road,
And
looking for the horn honk.
that's it. He's waiting on that, and he sees a fucking bunch of protesters with signs on the side there, and he belches out diesel smoke in their face. Fuck yes.
They have videos of that too. That's one of my
I've seen
favorites.
that.
And
I've
they
seen
have
that.
well, there's guys.
Oh, what, of people getting hit?
No,
No,
the
no.
diesel smoke.
No, there was somebody, I don't know what it is that they put on their mufflers, but it makes their mufflers like insanely loud. And there was one group of protesters standing across
Penis
the road.
enlargement surgery?
No, it was some kind of what?
No, that's what the truck's for.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But no, this little
When you can't afford that.
this little sporty car turns around with these protesters and puts its ass end of its car close to him, and then just starts revving his engine just loud as shit. And every one of the protesters holding their ears because it hurts so bad, and they end up scattering off the road, and he backs through them and just turns around and goes. Like, there's been some pretty novel approaches to getting them off.
Like, that's it. These fucking environmental protesters are basically the equivalent of the uncle that we discussed in a prior episode. Nobody fucking likes them. Which, actually, for the record, I have to add this just because the wife yelled at me. That she had a story about the uncle that she felt that I needed to add, and that was that at one point she felt or thought that he was a dog in that house. Not because of seeing him or anything, but how everybody talked about him. And then she went in the house for something and heard him cough and almost shit her pants because she was terrified because there was this creepy old man there when she was introduced to them. It's like, oh, that's my dad. I thought that was a dog. Okay, back to the environmentalist protesters. Fuck them.
My
Anyway.
favorite video of people trying to block the road, I think it might have been in the Netherlands, but it was someone trying to block a tractor that was just going through trying to do stuff.
Ooh, something
and
with blades.
Yeah. Well, it was on the road, so it was just like hauling stuff. But people got in front of it, had their signs, and just being like, oh, you got to stop the environment, blah, blah, blah. Man's just chugging along at like a smooth, like 7-10 miles an hour, just not stopping, just sitting there looking at them like they're idiots.
Not a care in the world.
One of those things where it's like, buddy, I'm not going fast enough. If you stand up here and get run over, you've got people videoing you. You're just gonna be dead. Sorry.
No, that reminds me of the
Like, you're coming at that speed, you got room or time to move.
Yeah.
well, the protesters at what was it, a chicken farm or the duck farm?
Duck
They had
farm.
they had these nooses. I guess that they hung the ducks.
The
up
little
in.
hooks, yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
And so they-
around their neck.
Well, they put the nooses around their neck. Well, then the farmer, being an asshole,
Just started the machine,
Oh yeah, and so they all started getting dragged over,
and they were screaming.
and they were about to get pulled through this
And it was
little
glorious.
this little hole.
It was a
that about-
beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, and they had taken bike locks and locked themselves to it, so they couldn't get out even if they wanted to.
Because they were already tight.
And so the farmer's sitting there going, and
Fuck with my business, will you?
because sometimes they do, like the one of the newest ones, which this lady supposedly people were trying to get her in trouble and whatever, but she was on video, all these protesters in the middle of the road, and she walks out, wraps her hands up in their hair, and just drags them off the road and pitches them into the gutter. And so then she goes to the next one, grabs them by the hair, yanks them off. Then the original one comes and gets back in front of the car. So then she wraps her hand up in her hair, drags them off, and she just kept doing it and screaming at them. And but supposedly I don't know if they're suing her. I don't know if they're trying to get her arrested or what it was. But yeah, they put that all over the news to try and sympathize with the protesters.
Fuck sympathizing with those twats.
Yeah, or the guy who glued his own face to the middle of the road in the UK, and then even admitted that it wasn't his best.
Wasn't my best day.
because
Like, what was?
he went from his cheek to his hair and everything. He just glued the entire half of his face.
And the whole
to
fucking
road.
thing was, he's like, I've got almost all of my face worked off, and he was clipping his hair, and I'm
I'd have just wanted to be a cop just so I could grab his head and just rip
I
it
want to
off.
see this guy on his best day, though, because
Yeah.
it couldn't be much better than this.
But some of the officers, like, they're trying to use solvents to get them loose when they glue themselves. And some of them, they just can't do it. So they end up using jackhammers, especially while the people are sitting right beside it, too. And they're jackhammering the pieces of the road around their hands and then arresting them with big chunks of concrete or asphalt attached to their
Oh, I'd
hands.
fucking handcuff them with that chunk,
They
the
do.
2 chunks on their ass. Yeah.
They do. It's exactly what
Oh,
they're
that'd
doing.
be torture.
Because then you couldn't sit down proper, like, you know, it'd be digging
Just think
in
of
your
how
back.
much that would hurt your arms, though. Like, that would pull your shoulders out of socket,
Yeah, because
Which-
well, I mean, it's probably,
which makes me even happier.
yeah, it's probably 8 to 10 pounds of asphalt just on your hands.
I'd say it's more than that. I'd say about 15, 20.
Yeah, so possibly.
You get a big chunk of
Depends.
it. Yeah. What are we looking at?
System display.
I don't know what you're doing here.
He's doing technical work on the fly,
I am.
which means it's up to us to not.
Hey, there we are.
Hey,
Damn, I look good. Stop waving. You look
can't-
retarded.
we already had our quota of
It was
retarded people for the
entrapment.
I don't
month.
know what's
It was
going on here.
entrapment.
Oh,
But
yeah. Back to the protesters. Yeah, it's just it's another one of those situations where it's just you can't say enough bad things about them.
no, I mean, my problem with the whole climate change problem is,
Your problem with the whole climate change problem?
well, issue, I guess.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't speak good sometimes. But,
Okay.
The last video was taxing on his mind.
Yes, it was.
Oh, shit.
Mental gymnastics are difficult, people.
He had to come up with a line of bullshit that tried to make that fucker okay.
But see, now you understand what the climate change people are going through.
Yes, I do. After dealing with that fucking putz.
So maybe from now on, when you see people gluing their hands, you're like,
yes,
I understand now.
but it's the same tired bullshit argument they've had since the 60s.
Well,
Probably.
I mean, the whole fucking thing with me and why I hate environmentalists is because it's just a fucking political thing anyway. It's
Marxist.
like, guess what? We've been and this is an argument I've had online a couple of times where they said that we are destroying the earth. And I was like,
The Earth will be fine.
okay, here's the thing, fuckhead. We've been a species for, what, 10,000 years? Stretching.
Sure.
Generously, I'll say 10,000 years. For an actual industrialized species, we've been, and I'm getting generous again, 250 years.
Sure.
Dinosaur farts had much longer to fuck up the ozone layer than we have had as a species. And if they're making such a big deal about cow farts, dino farts were way fucking worse.
Oh, yeah.
And they had millions of fucking years to do all that. So our carbon footprint as a species isn't enough to say we fucked anything up, and that's just us being morons.
Well,
saying that we even could.
Because what's that?
I was going to say, not to mention the fact that if you were to take away every common person's form of pollution, you still have 70% of pollution being produced by like
Volcanoes?
No, by just like 100 companies and like but it's never, oh man, I'll give this to the eco people that are like, we got to stop like the plastic industry. It's like, you're going to fuck up a bunch of people's livelihoods, but I do kind of prefer that over the companies being like, hey, now we need to put a carbon tax on you, the citizen, because you drive a car.
Well, that's my problem. It's like I don't care about picking up.
I think they're
litter.
wanting the big companies to pay the carbon tax. And
No,
that'd be
they're,
nice,
they're,
but,
that's part of the Green New Deal. Was that they put a fluctuating carbon tax on the average on every citizen, and so that way they could.
I'm sure when they were talking about it, that was probably in the fine print.
Oh yeah, because they.
Well, I'm sure the government would be much more.
Government be
if
fine.
They'd be more apt to go with if we tax all the people instead of the businesses.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh yeah. Well,
But the whole point is that these carbon taxes, they're trying to basically it's like the vice tax, like with alcohol or anything. They're like, well, if you want to use it and it hurts the environment, then you have to pay extra for.
Well, the fact that you say carbon tax, that's what pisses me off the most. Is their wording in all this issues and shit is they're limiting our carbon output. We output carbon and carbon dioxide. Every fucking thing, every fucking animal when we breathe out is carbon dioxide. What's going to limit that? How is taxing fucking anything going to stop us from fucking breathing?
Well, it's like
They'd tax your breathing if they could.
For the
yes.
other side of that, I breathe out less carbon than my car does.
You breathe more carbon because of those goddamn vapes. Those are pure carbon.
Don't call it a vape. I ain't no queer.
But also,
this is an e-cigarette.
Shane,
Oh, that's way better.
also, you still put out more carbon because think of all the breaths that you've exhaled in your life.
While your car sits out there not moving and not hurting a soul.
How much is your carbon putting out right now? It's not.
I hope you feel goddamn guilty, Mr. Vape Pen, with the sitting car just sitting out there.
It's not a vape pen.
Innocent little car.
It's an e-cig.
Car just sitting out there minding its own business, and you're blaming it for producing carbon.
Sorry, I'll drive it around the block once and double what I've put out today.
Yes, but then you had 16 years before that of breathing out before you could ever drive.
You didn't even have a car.
Boom.
I've also driven on vacations, so that's
doesn't make up
non-stop for like 10 and 12
I'm sorry.
hours.
Does your vacation take 16 years to drive?
Nope.
God, it feels like it.
It fucking does, doesn't it?
But
more ranting though. One of the things that kills me is that usually the people that are like, we got to put, like more taxes on your gas, more stuff that's basically just like, we're giving you incentives to not drive. Most of these places are like really big cities that are just full of cars, full of stuff. We live out here in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we kind of have to.
We have,
Well, yeah.
we have no choice.
But
it's like we've got a bunch of trees, bunch of green everywhere, except for in like
And
the
if
winter
I
when
paid
everything
attention
dies.
in fourth grade science class, the trees take care of the carbon dioxide in the air.
Maybe we should start, instead of limiting, which I'm sure this could also just be turned into a just as bad totalitarian problem, maybe we should start limiting the amount of people that can live in a square area and just spread people out.
Boy, I'd like to be spread out and have no neighbors anyway. So
think-
I'd like to
that'd
do
be
that.
nice.
I think there was a group
Like,
who
wouldn't that
was
be great
trying,
just to not have neighbors?
it'd
I
be
think
great.
it was about 80 years ago. There was a group that wanted to engage in a little eugenics. What was that?
What was that group?
Oh,
Sean knows.
No, Margaret Sanger from Planned Parenthood.
I thought you were going to say Martin Luther King, and I was like, oh, I didn't know about this one.
No. But no, all of this climate bullshit started with fucking Al Gore, and he's the biggest piece of fucking garbage on the.
No, it didn't. No, it was before him.
It was before him, but he's the one who.
He just became the face when he said that Man Bear Pig was going to come and get us.
No, but when he
Another great South Park episode.
his bullshit inconvenient truth movie.
He
is what-
invented the internet, though, so it's fine.
But no, that's how he ended up getting rich. Was after a lot of people don't realize this on Inconvenient Truth. He got everybody scared, and then he brought up a whole bunch of websites where you could offset your carbon footprint by paying carbon dollars or some kind of shit.
I
The
never
first
understood
NFT.
the whole
Yeah,
carbon tax,
the carbon
all that
offset
stuff.
shit,
What,
yeah.
Well,
what difference does that make? Here's some money.
The whole point on these
Not all
websites,
problems can be cured with money.
but the whole
I'm still
point.
breathing out.
Yeah, we know. We can tell.
But no,
Shut up, vape pen.
on these websites, you would basically answer all these questions like how much you drive, do you smoke, this and that, whatever, and then it would calculate your whatever carbon tax,
Carbon
it is.
emissions.
Carbon footprint.
Yeah, your footprint, and then it would give you a dollar amount that you could pay to this website. Now the website never claimed, and there was multiple websites, all of which were owned
And the
by
money
Al Gore.
goes where?
That's exactly the point. All of these websites did not specify where that money went. All it said was that it would offset your carbon footprint. And millions of people donated to this website. And it all went to Al Gore. And my problem with Al Gore
Is it worth $20 to clear your conscience?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Was it guilted people?
I'd rather have the $20 to fill up my tank, to be
My
honest.
conscience is clear because fuck the environment.
Well, no. And then
You won't fuck a tree.
Then you've got Al
How do you know I
Gore
haven't?
himself, which they get his electricity bill, and they find out that in 1 month he pollutes and uses up more watt hours of electricity than the average 10 American homes
Kilowatt
per year.
hours.
Kilowatt hours per year. Like 10
Goddamn, turn a light off or something when you leave a room.
Exactly. And so
I like to sleep with
Goddamn
my
kids.
TV on.
well, he claimed that
I do.
that
But again, fuck the environment.
You want to play your stereo while you're watching TV?
I like to party. I like to party.
I want all of my TVs going at the exact same time on a different channel, so that way I can just multitask.
I like to play PlayStation while I poop.
while I'm playing Flappy Bird. But yeah, Al Gore's again one of the biggest hypocrites, and all they do
To be
is
fair, he's a politician, and those
That's
just
just-
in
yeah.
general,
Well,
they're
yeah.
all scumbags.
it is true. But Al Gore just took way more advantage, and he never did anything. And then meanwhile you have all these. What was it? The G3 summit where they have all of like these billionaires flying in on their private jets to talk about like Leonardo fucking DiCaprio flying in on his private jet to talk about how they need to lower carbon emissions.
You
Otherwise, the
expect
Earth
Leo
will be
to
dead
fly
before
commercial.
it's 25.
Yeah, and they always do that.
What they need to
What's
do
that?
is stick Mitch McConnell over there and let him talk to him just as a distraction, because they're going to be like,
You expect Leo to fly commercial?
Exactly.
But the only issue is if you send him over there, Mitch McConnell's going to be like, the only way that we can stop the planet from dying to climate change is if we bomb Iran.
no.
Man is obsessed with
I didn't
it.
say go over or send him over there and
Devil's
let him talk. I was saying
Send him over there and let him try to talk.
that's it. Send him over there and let him just like put him up there at the microphone, and he goes, "Well," and then the fucking billionaires are all like,
What?
"Is the CD stuck?
He's not breathing.
Somebody pull the string again. Get Woody to fucking say something."
No, that's literally his idea. Is just everybody stop breathing.
Yeah, his idea is a fucking mini stroke.
I mean,
But as far as bombing
I
Iran
can give
goes,
a big list of names of people I wouldn't mind to stop breathing.
sure.
Oh yeah,
Doing my part and all.
back to the purge. Here we go.
As long as they're not framed.
As long as they're not set up.
Oh, they're going to be framed
Or
on my
they're
wall.
not-
All
I
right.
thought she was going to pull something like this.
As long as they're not the victim of any dirty trickery.
We were playing Call of Duty, and I was like, "Is this a quick scope lobby?" And she was like, "No." And then it was a quick scope lobby.
I have to tell you, I would have been totally on his side on that if he had said she just no scope 360'd my heart.
He should be entitled for that.
I'd have been like, let him go. Let him go.
He's good.
Oh dear God, that was good. It's like, huh? Well, maybe he was wrong, or maybe he was right.
Just for that line alone, if he had put that on, on a recording, I'd have been like, on his side. I don't care what evidence they have.
That
But,
I mean, really. Oh my God.
But anyway, that's not the point.
That's not the point. We're on the environment, not on
Yes.
fucking child predators.
Yes, the environment or
The effect of
Who would make good fertilizer?
Both would, yeah.
sure. But
Make fertilizer out of all of them. I don't fucking care.
yes, climate change bullshit.
Yes, complete and total bullshit.
Because it's every 20 years they call it something new. It was what
Used
was
to be
it?
global warming.
Used to be global warming.
it was global cooling before
It was global
global
warming, and then they realized that people don't understand global or climate, the difference between climate and weather. So, like, these people think just because we call it global warming, that the Earth is getting hotter. They think it
That's what
snowed this year,
Well,
so it's
to
a
be
hoax.
fair-
So we're going to change the name of it
To
for
be
these
fair, his-
retards that
his
don't
buddy
understand
Al-
the language.
But his buddy Al did say that due to the warming of the climate, that the polar ice caps would be melting and they would be gone in 7. I don't know.
Yeah, it's always
were gone.
around
The time frame may have been off.
Their
but
predictions-
There's a lot of melting going on.
ever since.
But there's more ice on them now than there has ever been.
Well, it's the same thing with trees, where they're like, oh,
Man, bear, pig.
But cereal.
Checkmate.
it's where they say, like, you got to save paper and save trees and this and that. Even though there's 3 times more trees on Earth now than there was 100 years ago. You know why?
Because there were more logging camps back then.
you wanna get
Because
more
they-
trees.
Planting trees to help with the environment.
No,
we use
No,
metal.
They
No,
were
it's if you-
planting trees in order to have enough for a new naval fleet in the year 2000. Don't worry, sir. I
Then we use
forget-
plastic because fuck the environment.
I think it was Norway that recently, it was in like somewhere between 2010 and 2020, they had planted back in like the 1890s a big amount of trees in the thought that it's like, this is going to be for our new fleet. We're planting one so that we'll be able to harvest them later and we'll have a new fleet ready to go. And now it's just like, you don't need it now.
Well, but
we,
that's
we'll-
but
we
they
won't
still-
have any other, material to make these ships out of to reinforce our fleet.
But did you see where they were talking about, and of course by them I mean like insane people, talking about going back to, instead of just having regular freight carriers that we have today, go back to having giant freight sailing ships with like giant football field length sails on them.
No, I did not see
yeah,
that.
that's all well and good until you come across fucking Somali pirates that RPG your fucking freighter into the goddamn ocean.
That seems as practical as a fanny pack.
Hands-free belt satchel.
Keep telling yourself that.
Hey, but do you know what? When the Somali pirates show up and you can pull your 357 out of your fanny pack, then who's laughing then?
Hands-free belt satchel.
If you can fit a 357 in a fucking fanny pack, good for you.
And also, if you're going to try and hit a Somali pirate with a 357, you're fucking stupid because that's way too far away.
Nah, you wait till they're on the ship. Then you have a free boat.
No, but then they are the captain now.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you're like, this is a
I saw
mutiny.
Captain Phillips. I know how this goes.
But no, the whole point with paper is the fact that in the U.S., over 90% of the paper that we use comes from tree farms because there's a demand for paper. So,
And not Christmas trees because we lost our innocence.
yes, we did.
I feel like a lot of Christmas tree places have like gone out of business because I remember there used to be a place
Because
where
everybody has fake ones. Why
Yeah.
would you?
Yeah, they're out of plastic too. Boom, lost that job too, fuckers.
I've never had a real one.
Really?
No.
We have.
When? Oh, not okay. Yeah. Not. I thought you meant like when we were growing up. I was like,
No,
we fucking didn't.
I think we did when I was a baby, but that was about it.
Yeah, Mom figured out real quick the ones that look like fucking pipe cleaners. It's a way to go.
That's the way to go.
'Cause-
I'm just going to point out the monitor is all fucked up, and I have no idea how long we've gone.
I was about to
the
ask you.
timestamp has disappeared somehow.
Oh well, I guess there's only one thing to say then.
do we cut here?